If you're gonna ride them, you're gonna crash them. If you're gonna crash them, you gotta fix them. Well, I stole a few hours. I'm gonna try and get this bad boy back together, back on the road. I'm gonna put the 113 cubic inch S&S stroker motor in it, get the Baker OD6 6-speed gear set in it, and I'm gonna try and get it running by tonight. I'm not going to show you the whole disassembly process because it's just a reverse of the assembly, which I will show you, but I will show you a few of the things I do when I'm taking it apart. I got this bad boy Ingersoll Rand impact, so nice, cordless impact. Bust off this primary compensator. Make quick work of that. I always cut up an old cardboard box and kind of use it as an oil trap. You know, there's just no way when you're taking a Harley-Davidson primary apart to not have oil all over the place. So I use the cardboard as a trap, and then I just fold it up and throw it away. And I'll have stuff all over my bench to clean up when I'm done. When you get the clutch off, you just loosen that jam nut and let that plate float, and then I get a pair of snap ring pliers and pull this clip out. And pop the snap ring out. The plate slides right out. So this clutch hub nut has to come off now. It takes a 1 3/16 inch socket, and it's hard to get a socket that fits in there. I cut one down on my lathe years ago so that it'll fit in there, a 1 3/16 socket. It's not an impact socket, but I've never busted it in 30 years of using it. But this is a left-hand thread, so that means usually you say lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Well, this is the opposite. Right is going to loosen this because it's the left-hand thread. So I'll just go in with the Ingersoll Rand. Boom. Then I just release this chain tensioner. I can pull the whole rig out. I always hold that starter pinion real light with a pair of channel locks and get this bolt out of the end of it. I don't even know what these fools got going on with this ignition wiring here, but check this out. They wrap this wires with masking tape, with white masking tape. Like if you wrap wires with white masking tape, you deserve to have your toolbox welded shut. That's it. Well, odds are pretty good. The bad boy hasn't been this far apart since I left Milwaukee in 1997. So let me get that gearbox out of there. Stick that Baker OD6 overdrive 6-speed gear set in it. And I'm ready to put this thing back together. Yep. And here goes the big 113 S&S. To the 97 bad boy. It'll never be the same after this. There it is. This is that bearing race that I had to. Remember, I had to weld and pull the bearing race off with a puller because somebody pressed it on too far. Well, here's another race. I'm going to go ahead and press it on. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it down a little bit with a little light oil on the inside. I just wipe a little light oil on the inside of it to allow it to slip on the shaft a little easier. But there's a special tool that you have to use to install this. goes on like this. There's a specialty tool you have to use to install this race. I'm gonna go ahead and get that on here now. You have to hold the end of the tool with a 3/8 wrench, and then with a 15/16 wrench, you drive that race onto the shaft. Again, this clutch hub, and again, this transmission main shaft is left-hand thread. Now I'm going to show you where I have that you can see now how I left a gap behind that race, and I can get this tool that I was showing you earlier on to pull it off properly. But because they had pressed that other one on, you couldn't get it off. But this is how it should be, with a little bit of space back behind there between the end of the main drive gear and the primary bearing race. I'll paint a little anti-seize. Paint a little bit of anti-seize on these splines here on my main drive gear. Get that pulley on. And of course, Loctite on the nut. And that nut is left-hand thread. So I'm gonna go counterclockwise to tighten it. I'll use a little persuasion from the Ingersoll Rand impact. Got the lock plate in place. Loctite on the lock plate screws. I guarantee that thing doesn't come off again until you're ready for it to. I'm ready to put the inner primary cover back on the bike. Just carefully slip it up over that race that I just put on the main shaft. Line her up. I'm just getting that starter motor in here now. I use a long T-handle 1/4 inch Allen wrench with a ball end on it. That ball end allows me to get in there to angle and pivot this thing all the way up over top of that starter motor. It's hard to get up in there. I've been using these things for years to get this accomplished. So I found a real nice used Harley-Davidson outer primary cover on eBay. Decent price, but I mean the chrome on it's excellent. It's in incredible shape. So I'll put that on. All right, with the Baker 6-speed in and the 113 SNS all dropped in and ready to roll, I'm ready to start putting the bike back together. I'm gonna start with the rear fender, hook up the wiring for the rear fender. And then I gotta sort out the whole deal with the handlebars. You know, the left handlebar control was ripped off the bike. The wiring and all the buttons are destroyed, so I have to kind of go through all the wiring under the dash and get all that sorted out. So I'm going to get the back fender on first, work my way forward. A nice, virtually new old stock, but used 1997 rear fender, original paint. And there's my old road rashed up fender. There's the fender I got from Sparky. I'm ready to move forward to the handlebars and the gas tanks. And there's my old left side hand control switch housing. I bought a set of used Harley-Davidson, really nice clean switch housings on eBay. I had to get a replica switch set just because I got a nice wiring harness with it. I didn't want somebody's butchered up wiring harness. Butchered up wiring harnesses are one of my peeves on motorcycles. So I got a nice set of switch housings. I'm gonna go ahead and feed these wires through the handlebars, redo all the plugs, redo all the gang plugs in between the gas tanks, get everything all connected, and I can start putting the tanks on and get this thing ready to run. Hard to believe I got the bad boy back together post-crash. That crash was really heartbreaking for me. First of all, it banged me up physically. I mean, just until a few days ago, even the deep gouges in my knees were really hurting me. And my right shoulder is still really jacked. I'm trying to avoid surgery, especially if I can at my age. Hopefully I can rehab it with just some good weight training and being careful with it. But I got the bike back together. I'm super excited. I mean, Sparky came through with the tins. I mean, you know, getting the paint back on it was something I didn't think was gonna happen, especially not this quickly. I had more work I wanted to do the bike before I crashed it. Now I got this stuff done. I got the 113 S&S engine in it, literally twice the torque and twice the horsepower, literally, as the factory engine. 124 foot-pounds of torque and 112 horsepower, double what the 80 cubic inch Evo engine was putting out stock from Milwaukee. And then I put the Baker 6-speed gear set in the motorcycle. I was able to keep the Harley-Davidson transmission case, but just slide the Baker OD6 gear set into the factory case with the OD6 main drag gear, and all the parts and gaskets, everything Baker drivetrain gives you. It was the easy job, put it in, and now with the torque and horsepower I've got, I can shift an overdrive 6 gear on the highway and be keeping up with traffic out here on I-65. That's the noise you hear in the background is Interstate 65. You know, everybody's going 85, 95 miles an hour. You got to be able to hang with them, and you just can't hang with the Harley-Davidson 5-speed. That OD6 Baker drivetrain gear set really makes a huge difference, especially as soon as you upgrade the horsepower in a Harley-Davidson Softail or even an FXR Dynaglide. As soon as you do it, you need the extra gear. I pulled the parts from the Fat Boy with the 80 cubic inch. I was running a Mikuni carburetor. I robbed the Carl Speed Shop Typhoon off my Fat Boy and put it on the 113 S&S, and it really runs good with this engine. Made for a bigger engine, for 93 cubic inches and bigger, so it was a little big for the 80. It was running good on there, but it was a little bit big. But on this thing, it really gives you great response. I was really happy with the way that it runs. Let me fire it up for you so you can hear how she sounds. It rained here all night last night. It's supposed to rain here all afternoon. It's supposed to start raining in about 10-15 minutes. So I'm gonna try and take this thing for a quick ride. I rode it a few minutes ago, but I'm gonna try and take it for a quick ride and let you see how it runs. I found this 6-gun oil cap. I haven't made these in years. I'm going to start making parts again, but I haven't made these in years. I said kept all my prototype stuff. So this is one of my prototypes, and we were sending it to the anodizing shop. And this was a prototype that came back from the anodizing shop. This is made for a twin cam motorcycle, which has a bigger opening in the oil cap than a Harley-Davidson Evo does. So I'm going to go ahead and machine this down to fit in the Evo oil tank. Go ahead and clean up with a piece of emery, deburr that edge. Right, now I'm going to come in with my parting bit and just cut these grooves a little deeper so that the O-rings will fit the right diameter of the oil tank. Back from riding for over 2 hours for my shakedown run on the 1997 Harley-Davidson BadBoy. I could not be happier. I did so much to the bike before I crashed it, and then I've done so much to it since I crashed it. Most notably the 113 cubic inch S&S engine with the Carl Speed Shop Typhoon carburetor and the Baker 6-speed overdrive gear set. I mean, those two things made this bike so fun to ride. I've always been a Harley-Davidson 80 cubic inch Evo fan, but the 80 cubic inch is my side piece now. The 113 S&S is my main squeeze. The engine is unbelievable. I mean, pulling up a hill, you know, just pulling out of a curve, no need to downshift, just roll on the throttle and the torque and the power are right there instantly. Truly amazing. And then what I love about the Baker OD6 is I can throw it in the 6th gear overdrive and be running the engine around 1,000, 1,200 RPM and be going 75 miles an hour. I mean, the thing just really pulls. The torque pulls the gear. The gear helps the engine RPM stay low. It's gonna give me a lot of life in this engine, so just couldn't be happier. And one thing I wanna say about the Baker gear set is I've ridden hundreds of Harley-Davidsons over the last 4 decades, and I gotta tell you, I've never ridden one that shifted into neutral like this. I mean, it's so smooth into neutral, from first to neutral, from second to neutral. I mean, it's just such a smooth shift. You can feel it. There's no guessing games. Just one of the things I loved about it. Just riding around, I got stuck in a little bit of traffic, and it's just so easy to shift the gearbox, especially when looking for neutral. I don't know what Baker does that Harley-Davidson doesn't do, but I mean, it's just such a smooth transition. No clunk when you put it in the first gear. It's just really smooth, and I couldn't be happier. Bike's got the best components of its era. I got the Baker 6-speed. I got some Chopper Zinc parts on it, the 6-gun oil cap, and I'm getting ready to put some 6-gun risers on it. Got the S&S 113-inch engine. Got the Carl Speed Shop Typhoon carburetor. Performance Machine brakes and master cylinder. The Boyd Coddington Billet by Boyd's billet aluminum swing arm. Burley brand lowering kit for the Springer. Indian Larry pushrod tube covers and derby cover. West Coast Choppers Hellbent exhaust pipes, Terry component cylinder head breathers, LaPera seats, bare bones seat. That little ride through the Middle Tennessee farm country, all those farms and ranches, is just outstanding. I can't wait to take another ride on it.